it now. I'm all for you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
I turned it off. No, I was just clicking buttons, so I didn't care because it's a shit show, right? So I can say hi to everybody. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show, where shit's gonna hit the fan somehow, in some way. But let's say hi to everybody in the in the chat. Let's see who's here. Hello,
everybody.
Nat, thank you for joining us. It's Patriot Puppy on Twitter. And let's see, Baby Girl, hi. Low Spec, thank you for coming and joining us. Hi, Soy Waste Jeremy. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful start for your weekend. But I've got a few depressing things I wanted to talk about. Well, this one isn't too depressing, but the first thing I want to present is what I got to do over the week, which was fun. So hold on. Let me, I got some sound coming from somewhere. There. Okay.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Oh, was you? Okay. I was like, is it me or what? But okay. I'm going to share my screen. And this picture.
Well, now I just feel like wanting to fuck with you more.
Yes.
Make more noises and stuff.
Divisive Content Show. Right here. We did a show. It's because does playing video games make you a loser? And it was a great show. It was a lot of fun. But the reason we did it is because so many people are talking about how they think gaming is, like ruining our men, young men and women are sitting in the basements and doing nothing but playing games. So basically, are they a loser because they do that? So we discussed that, and it was really good. But it made me start thinking about how much, if you look around, the decline of our country since this administration has been in office, you know what I mean? And seeing more and more bad things happening to younger people, I'm not talking about attacks and things like that, mostly I'm talking about the way people treat others and how they want to be treated by others, which is really disgusting. So I want to stop sharing that. And then I want to share this next thing. We got to find it real quick. I'm sorry. Here it is. This is something that I saw in one of our DMs or DM to me. And to me, it's pitiful that we are in this low of a state in our country that people will pay other people to degrade them. So this is a guy, and he shows up at a parking lot and he pays these people to kick him in the balls. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? We're in chat.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you because this is
and I think this person should seek therapy.
Well, I do too, but what I'm saying is, how can you get therapy to help you honestly right now when you have therapists that think it's okay and they're telling young kids to cut off their genitals, right? Years ago, if you were in the military and you wanted to wear a dress, it didn't mean that you were gay. It just meant that you had a psychological problem of some sort, right? That's why they made such fun of, what was that TV show my mom liked, MASH, where Klinger would dress up in a dress because he was wanting to get a Section 8. He wanted to get out. So years ago, a lot of people did certain things to get attention, right? But also people did it because they really were mentally unstable. But today, this type of behavior is considered normal. I mean, people act like it's nothing, but I want to show it to you, and then you guys can tell me what you think. If this is the kind of guy that's out there in the market for me to want to date, or one of my friends, then we'll just be doing without. You know what I'm saying? So
make sure you make it bigger.
Oh, I will. I'll make it bigger. Let me go back over there to it. Okay, here we go. Making it bigger. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now just watch this guy, and he's doing this on his own merit. No one's making him. I just want you to understand that. So watch.
And everyone here, you give consent to everyone to kick you in the nuts?
I don't know if I'm gonna get that far.
All right. Do you consent to me?
Yes.
All right. How's that?
Burning.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
She looks like she escaped the porn industry.
All right.
She's probably in it
You wanna go
still.
out too?
That's why she's making extra money in the parking lot.
You want somebody else?
He's probably charging him hundreds of dollars, and he's got other girls who are gonna do
Yeah,
it.
she may have her. She may have her areolas and nipples covered, but I still wouldn't allow or play this for too long. I mean, that's the whole thing. You might get your string pulled.
Okay, I'm done. Well, I'm done. I just wanted you to see the other woman smack him in the
Yeah,
in the groin. The thing is, okay,
nuts.
this guy is in whatever frame of mind he's in, or whatever happened to him growing up, or whatever he needs to get sexually aroused, is, to me, as a normal person, is messed up. Okay, that is not normal behavior. And when that kind of stuff is on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, all the different apps where younger people can see it and think it's funny, and then make videos kicking each other in the nuts, that it can't be medically helpful. I mean, it's got to hurt. I mean, somehow it might hurt a man to get kicked in the balls over and over again. And I don't know what the thrill is, but to me, that's debauchery. That's perverted. You know, that's not normal. That's not normal behavior from anyone. You know what I'm saying? So what do we do about that? How do we fix our society when it's gotten to where a person wants to get kicked in the balls in public, in a public place, a parking lot, and be degraded? He's degrading himself for pleasure. I just don't understand it. I saw this video and I couldn't stop thinking about what is wrong with this young man.
So it's can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
I can't hear myself.
Yeah.
So it's a kink, basically. And
I know. Why?
But because people have kinks.
It's kink that's going to get this guy killed.
Yeah, but well, not really. But the thing is that here's the thing: they're both consenting adults.
No, actually,
whatever
really,
they do.
could happen.
It happens both ways. You have women who want to be punched during sex or do things, be tied up, be put in
not in public.
Yes.
Okay, but see, that's the problem.
This is what's known as
you want to
masochism.
take somebody to your room,
S&M stuff. Yeah.
Kick and have them kick you in the nuts all night. Okay, that's nobody's business, and no one's going to know about it. No one's going to know you're messed up. You're a messed up, freaky, kinky person, unless you put it out in public, which this person did. This person allowed himself to be videotaped.
Correct.
And so did the two women. And I don't know how many other women there were because I didn't watch the whole video. I just had to see enough to try to comprehend what I was watching. And I still can't comprehend it. I can't understand the frame of mind that someone has to have to want to be degraded. That'd be like me putting on a thong and then going and wanting to scrub someone's floor on my hands and knees while they were spitting on me and shit. I mean, to me, that's it. I just don't see how anyone gets pleasure out of degrading.
Yeah, it's
degrading yourself.
Sub kink. That's all it is. Yeah, that's all it is.
I just think it's disgusting.
Psychologically speaking, this person But yeah, psychologically speaking, this person probably lived a lifestyle in which he was had to be extremely submissive to whatever he was doing, and therefore it kind of shaped him a little bit. But the thing is, this guy will also most likely get himself killed if he's not careful, because you can actually kill a man if you kick them in the nuts hard enough, and
Well,
if
you
you
could
kick them in
tell
the nuts
the one woman was
forcefully
wearing
enough.
boots to try to keep from doing too much damage. So she must do this professionally or something, because the special boots that she was wearing to kick him were like, foam, made out of foam. I'm
Yeah.
sure it still hurt, but she didn't want to, cut him open or anything. Like the other girl was wearing like some kind of little heels or whatever, which I'm sure some guy's going to get a thrill out of that, getting his eye poked out or whatever, because it's exciting or whatever for a few seconds
And
of last or whatever. But the
John,
thing is, to me,
in the chat,
yeah,
Go
right
ahead.
here, this one,
go ahead, finish up.
was that it?
Before- yeah.
The one you
We already know that this has been done behind closed doors. We already know that it's been going on to specifically target children. This stuff is, or I've been calling this shit out for ever since I got onto the YouTube stuff, or
Well,
ever since I
I
started YouTube.
understand that it's been going on. I know that they've had kinky do since Roman times, because they had boys and they had men dressing as women and things like that for theater or whatever else. Lots of things have been going on. But what I'm talking about is, it seems like every day I'm seeing more and more and more public displays of people doing debaucherous things. Just like our president made it non-Easter. He made it a public pornographic day, basically, for Easter. He took a sacred day for Christians and threw it under the bus, basically. And then also during all those gay pride weeks and months, it seemed like we went by people walking around with their penises hanging out and having sex in the streets, with kids walking around with ice cream with their parents and shit like that. I mean, it's sick. I'm talking about it's just getting progressively worse under this administration, is what I'm trying to say. It's more public. It's like nobody cares anymore, that there's no boundaries, okay, to the debauchery of what these people can get away with. And this is another thing that I think that this type of behavior is leading to, is this trial that's going on right now. I'm going to show that next. This is why I wanted to open up with that, because I want you guys to think about it. Pay attention, read what's on these different websites that you're seeing, that you read and look at every day, Facebook or whatever, and start looking and tell me that you don't see a drop in decline in family values and all that stuff since this administration has started, since it's like wide open.
But it's not the administration. It's not the administration. That's a thing. It's basically society. It's not this. It's not Biden.
Society.
It's a society.
Society has fallen in the last almost 4 years. To me,
longer than that.
Well,
but because all this has happened already.
Oh, it's been falling for a lot longer than that.
Well, I'm talking about being on everyday TV. I mean,
but here's
they're putting it on TV. Years ago, you wouldn't see this shit. Okay, maybe it's because it's more prevalent because we have the internet. But what I'm trying to say is, this trial that I'm about to show you, okay, I feel is one step from what this has caused. This type of stuff is leading up to this. What I'm about to show you.
This is public in Japan. This is public in Europe. They do this all the time. It's on television.
I'm not talking about those countries. I'm talking about our country.
Well, let's see what she's trying to show us. Let's get to that. Let's show that.
Okay, let me pull this one up real quick. Right here. Okay. I'm going to make this bigger.
We have given up authority to those who have no right to it. Yeah, that is true.
Now watch. Well, I'm just going to show a few minutes of this. There's no sound. It's a dad who thinks his son.
Footage, Corey Michiolo on the treadmill shortly before the death.
Yeah. This little boy, 6 years old, and his dad thinks he's too fat and he's lazy. So he forces him to run faster and faster and faster on this treadmill until he falls down over and over again and keeps getting back on, and he ends up dying because of brain damage. But he's doing this because his son has to be perfect.
That father should have to. Well, that father should have to serve life in prison, and most likely.
This trial is going on right now. But what I'm trying to say is, and there's more. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of these things every day. Parents killing their kids, the husband shooting his kids and then killing his wife and then killing himself. More and more and more. I'm seeing it on headlines every day. I'm seeing more and more of these types of murders and horrible stuff like this happening on a daily basis. It's not just a once every so often. Okay. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about where are we as American citizens anymore fighting for families, for traditional families. Like Ruben, every week you talk about you can't wait to be able to move there and be with your woman and start your own family because you want to be there for her and your kids, right? You want a safe environment. You want a good school to send your kid to. All that is traditional values.
Yeah,
that's what I
know, but the thing is that I'm going to do it on my own. See, as I'm saying, I'm not about the I've never been about the community thing. I don't care what people are doing. They want to do something, but they want to do whatever they want to do. Do whatever I want to do. No, I don't. I don't. I never have cared.
One day you're going to have a child that's going to have to go out in that environment. You can't just keep it at home with you.
Here's the thing,
you teach them. You teach the kid.
Yeah, but you're going to send your kid out into an environment where
here's the thing.
Child can never find a woman or a man, depending on if you have a girl or a boy, that's decent enough for your kid.
But here's my concern. My concern is, again, this goes to the idea, the fact that these things exist. What you do is you be a good parent. If you are if you're raising a kid in California, get the fuck out of California. Go to like Texas or Tennessee or wherever. You change the area you're in. But the problem here is, this is what happens. They make things more and more perverted because they relax everything. And then what happens is it's going to swing back. You're going to have very draconian, very this has happened before. This happened before in the 20s and the 30s when you had the Roaring Twenties, the Flapper Girls, you had the Saloon Girls back in the 1890s. It periodically changes. Where then they have the suffragette, this is where we got the ban on alcohol occurred because things were going out of control, and you're going to have a lash. You're going to have basically people that are going to march on Jesus wants this, this and that and all that stuff. And they're going to have the religious nuts going out there and doing all these things to lock everything down and then make everything bad. They're going to have again, we're going left, but then the right is going to come in and screw everything up even worse. And they're doing it. I don't want that. I want it to be just.
I don't either. I want it to be back down the middle, where.
Yeah, but it's not going to, but that's not going to happen. But it's not going to happen. The fact that, but that's the whole point. The whole point is put it out there. Put out people doing naked shows in front of kids, the drag shows, this video. Push people to the limit. And we get to the limit, then they're going to push it back and it's going to go too far the other way. We're going to have draconian laws like they did with the whole free speech thing that they did with the anti-Semite. Well, that's going to ban the Bible and stuff. Because again, people are just, it's either all in or all out. And either way, but that's how the system works. The system works that way, where it's going to cause you problems and it's going to be really, really bad. That's the whole thing. But I agree with you. I agree it's bad, and you want to make sure that your city, your community does things or whatever. But that's the whole point. The whole point is, my concern is, you have it out there. People talk about it because this is why we have the bans of TikTok. You have the anti-Semite bill that came out against free speech because they want you to do it. It's the same analogy, or the best analogy is defund the police, have women being punched in New York City, in LA. Then they're going to say, We got to have more cops out there and curfews because it's for your protection. That's what they want. They're going to government's going to always say we'll solve the problem. Yet they cause the problem. That's the whole point.
That's what I feel the exact same way about the government. I think less government makes more family issues back in the family. You know what I mean?
Right.
It forces people to have to solve their own problems at home and take care of the people that they love instead of worrying about, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that for my kid because if I do, the government's going to come in and put me in jail. You see? I just think that we've got so many rules and regulations out there that nobody's following. Okay. We don't have enough police officers. We don't have enough mental health facilities. We don't have enough homeless shelters, all the things that we should be spending money on that we're not because we're spending billions of dollars in other countries that are never going to pay us one dime. And if it was us that was invaded, do you think Ukraine's going to send anyone over to help us? No. You think China's going to send anybody over if Russia invades us? No. I mean, why do we keep giving money that we could be spending in our own towns?
But that's the other thing. Money is not real. That's the whole point. You keep saying paying back this and that. It's not real.
Yeah, but it is to other people. It may not be that real to you. But
no, it's not real. It's not real. It's 100% not real.
When I get my paycheck,
that's the whole point.
There's money being taken out of it for somebody. It's not going in my bank account. So whether it's plastic or real or Bitcoin or whatever it is, it's money.
No. But it's not
whatever.
real.
I pay my bills with it.
I know. That's how commerce is done through the system now.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it's not real. That's
whatever
the whole point.
It is,
it's fake. Yeah.
But whatever it is, I'm paying it out of my check, and so is millions of other Americans. And it's not going to what we are told it's supposed to go to, but they take it and they send it to all these other places instead of putting it back into the communities where we're wanting it to be.
But that's what you have. But that goes back to the
I believe in little government, smaller government, and they'll spend less. They'll spend less.
That goes back to the root of the problem. The fact that we have to take back our government. It's a government by the people, so we have to basically start from home. Govern yourself, what you're doing. Govern your city, your subdivision, your town, your city, your state. It's bottom up, not top down, and everything has been flipped. It's top down. That's why they're sending money to Ukraine, Israel. The lobbyists are controlling everything, and they're controlling the media and the news. And that goes back to why you're seeing these videos out there to get you to say, "Hey, we have to do something and stop this." Either you have people out there that are going to say, "Let's censor Twitter for these videos because they're public," or "Let's censor this and not have this shown out there." It's causing you to want more government. They want what they want you to do. They're pushing
that's what
more
they
government.
think. That's what they think because they think the only thing that can fix it is have somebody have more rules, right? Do what? What did you say?
That still exists.
I miss the concept of barter economy.
That still exists.
Oh yeah, of course it exists. It's just not prevalent in America today.
In some of the smaller cities,
however, it still exists. Yes.
In some of the smaller towns, it does because I live in some of the areas where people barter, where they take stuff to the farmers market and they say, "Hey, I'll give you this many eggs if you give me that." So it does happen, and you can do it in your town right now. Everyone can.
Orville Nation, she's from Venus.
Well,
what?
He wants to know what planet you're from.
What planet is Janet from exactly?
Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Didn't you know that? But let's go, Brandon. There we go. I'll show my shirt off. But thank you for
the aliens approve.
But the thing is that all I know is from what I'm seeing a huge decline in people in compassion. People in their own families aren't compassionate for their own children. There's no compassion for their spouse or their grandparents or their mom And I can understand if you're mad, you don't want to talk to them, just don't talk to them. But that doesn't mean you have to beat them or starve them or break their bones, things like that. I just don't understand the decline of our family values, and in the fact that instead of trying to work on it, they just put it on their social media account and then get more clicks.
This 80-year cycle is what caused it. They basically caused World War II to occur. And then that did the first thing that did is send good men off to war, then have the women stay at home and have to work. Then once the war was over, you have the technology where you had the Nazi scientists from Germany coming over here and doing all the work there, and the bomb. Then the genetic aspect. In the 50s, you had everyone says, let's start to invest in America, the GI Bill, let's get things going, get everyone a degree. Don't take so the whole that was the beginning of the trade. What happened?
Did you read that? That's it. He's spot on. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Right. Then basically, when they said no more trades are bad. You want college degrees, so you get a useless degree, spending money to get a degree. Then you can buy a house. The people now again, they can't buy a home. It's too expensive. People are working 2 or 3 jobs. They can't do anything, so they're very pissed off and they're getting disillusioned. Then you had then you had the sexual revolution. Women can do this. Give them the pill. They can. So then their hormones would change too. You change people so they would no longer be women. They would change their hormones, change their body's chemistry, and then then let's say, okay, well then we have civil unrest. We'll say, so then let's put crack in the cities. Let's put alcohol into the black neighborhoods. Let's tell mothers to kick out their husbands because you'll get more money from government so that you can stay there.
Or have 5 different kids with 5 different men.
Yes,
that too. Yes, I know.
And you don't need no man like that. And that was the 60s and 70s, and you had the breakdown, and then you had the fact that you had the oil. All the Vietnam War, you send everybody off to get the best and brightest, who would be the leaders now.
Yeah,
got killed. And then you had the Contra stuff when we got involved down there. We're getting involved in Israel. We're getting involved in Ukraine. We're doing all this stuff. And then you had and then things didn't really matter. Where you had I think it was like Clinton got a guy for Supreme Court back when he was elected, and the big hullabaloo, this guy was smoked marijuana, so he took his thing away, his nomination away from the Supreme Court. Nowadays, they don't give a shit about anything. They would say if he doesn't have a problem. You had the one guy the cross-dressing guy that stole things, luggage from the airport, and then you have if you see something, you say something. And you had Snowden who said, hey, there's a problem. WikiLeaks, there's a problem. But then again, the narrative now, the whole media, because there's no independent media. You have Cheryl Atkinson, you have
there isn't
Laura
any
Loomer.
media.
Yeah,
you just have propaganda pushers now. You have 1 or 2 or 3 little journalists out there that are really digging for facts and trying to share the facts. The rest are all the propaganda through the government. They just say they're all saying the exact same thing on every channel, blah, 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 blah. Just to get the people in lockstep for the democracy that we don't live in. We live in a constitutional republic. And I hear that constantly, and that pisses me off. But
that's the
the
whole
next
thing.
thing
Pushing it.
Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is this gentleman. I saw this come across my timeline on X, and I watched and I loved it. I thought this guy was saying exactly what these people need to hear. And yes, I know that most of the protesters weren't even students. They were probably paid agitators, just like Black Lives Matter and the Antifa people and whatever other group they can get. to shell out money on Craigslist and hire people to do these things, because I've seen stuff on Craigslist asking for a bald man with tattoos to protest and stuff like that, to use it against, like what was it, Proud Boys, groups like that. So I have seen it on Craigslist. So if you just download Craigslist and start looking at it every week and looking for gigs and stuff like that, you'll be shocked, especially if you live near a big city where they can get a lot of people and make a video really quickly to add it to the news. Like, look at these people that came to protest against these little ladies that are in this one, liberal club or whatever. I don't trust the news at all. I hardly even watch it, but I want to share this guy. I just think this guy is awesome. Now, I don't love everything that he says. There's a few times I've watched him that I was like, I wasn't real impressed with him. But I think this rant that he goes on is really, really good. And before I'm going to play it, maybe I should play that. I already did play the warning thing telling you that it's for adults only, because there is some dirty language in here. But we say dirty stuff all the time. And I did play a disclaimer. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. So you guys ready? Make sure it's turned up. Yeah. Here we go. Listen.
Listen here, all of you college idiots. Every single person out there that is protesting in favor of Palestine, in favor of Gaza independence, in favor of Hamas, however you want to classify this, you are all idiots. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You lack basic comprehension and understanding. But you're still so young that I think your ignorance can be cured. What can't be cured is the idiot faculty that are somehow cheerleading you along when it comes to these protests that are taking place all over the country. Last night, the NYPD had to go into Columbia and reclaim buildings. They also had to break up a 3-hour-long ridiculous brawl that was taking place on UCLA's campus. There is good and evil in the world. And if you are protesting in favor of Hamas in any way, you are on the side of evil. You are ignorant little nincompoops. Just follow me along here for a moment. Let's pretend that Hamas actually had a state. What would living in that state be like for you, you ignorant little nincompoops? Well, if you're a woman, you would have no basic human rights. You want to run around talking about how Donald Trump is Hitler because Roe v. Wade has been overturned. You would effectively be, if you are a woman living in almost any country in the Middle East, you are a second-class citizen. You have no basic human rights as we know them. You have to wear particular clothing. Recently, you weren't even allowed to drive a car. Recently, you weren't even allowed to attend a sporting event. Iran just executed a girl for doing a TikTok dance, not wearing a hijab. All of you dumb ass idiots sitting around on TikTok doing dance videos all day. If you did them wearing the clothes that you are wearing in many Middle Eastern countries, they would kill you. I'm so sick of how fucking stupid you are. And it's time somebody grabbed you ignorant morons by the scruff of your neck and kicked your ass and told you that good and evil is real and that you are on the side of evil.
Okay, I'm pausing it for a minute. Every single thing he said, I agreed with. And I wish more people would speak out and tell these people, if you went there today and you're gay, you'd probably be executed. And if you went there as a woman, you would be treated as a piece of meat. you wouldn't be able to have the rights to stand up and say and throw things and do signs and do these protests that you're doing. I mean, who has to explain this to these people before they realize how dumb they really are? Because they're rooting for the guys that want them dead or a slave.
Here's how I would do it. These people want to support these groups.
Mm-hmm.
We need to create a camp where they sign a waiver claiming or that states they cannot sue for what they are about to go through. They cannot claim any sort of legal avenue for reparation if they go through this camp. And then we give them a taste of what it's like in Palestine. We give them a taste of what it would be like over there, which means they would get their ass.
Is he breaking up for you guys?
Kicked. They would be tortured, essentially. I'm not going to, now I won't go so far as to say that they should or that they will be killed, to go through a taste of what they are asking and supporting.
But
because that is the only way these fucking retards will actually be
one of the things I
what
think
the point is
any person that is protesting and doing this stuff and does damage or block traffic, or breaks any laws like that or damages property like at the campus, doesn't let another person have the right to go to class. Any person who does anything like that should be offered a ticket to go to that country, to go over there and be with them if that's what they believe. And then we'll see what happens to them when they go over there. That's what I think. I think when they go to court, the judge can say, well, either you can spend 30 days in jail or whatever the fines are. I don't know. I'm not a legal scholar or anything. Or we'll give you a plane ticket to fly over there. Which one do you want? I think that would be a fair thing for these people.
Well, the reason why I say don't...
Go ahead.
I am not so heartless as to send them to their deaths, because that's exactly what would happen if they go over there. I am not that heartless.
But if you hand them the ticket,
believe me, I would love to. In some ways, I can be heartless when it comes to certain things.
If they choose to go, if you hand them a ticket,
that is their choice, yes, but you still offered them that choice to kill themselves. That would weigh on me.
No, I don't.
The thing is, when it comes to these protests at these colleges, they're not protests. They are terrorist actions. And when I say terrorist actions, I'm not talking about the law of terrorism. I'm talking about the definition of terrorism, where they are committing violent acts against people for political intimidation for political goals. And that is exactly what they are doing. When they go in blocking people from or busting up property, that's the violent action. Well, there you go with the violent part of it. And when they are stopping people from doing stuff, that is the terrorist action.
They're on a campus right now, and they're protesting that they don't want, they need food and aid and, to stop the bombing and all that, whatever else for another country. Somebody, it's not even in our country. Okay. But nobody in that crowd is saying, why did you guys kill that 16-year-old girl because she was making a TikTok video and not wearing a hijab? See, where's the balance in that? I mean, the people don't even give a shit about this poor girl or many like her that are crucified every day in that country simply because she's a woman and she has no rights. She's a worthless piece of meat. You know what I mean? She's nothing to them. But these women are running around acting like they're going to be treated like kings or whatever if they go over there, or queens. And that's what I'm talking about. They don't have a clue what they're talking about or what they're doing.
And here's another thing, to address John for a second in the chat. There's another reason why I won't go that far. It's because I've actually examined through my own actions and my own extreme thoughts at sometimes how extreme I am willing to go. And here's the frightening concept. Once you start going down a path to where you are taking another person's life in your hands, giving them a ticket to essentially go and get themselves killed, where does it start, or where does it start to or how far are you willing to go with that? Yes, you are, or because essentially you are pulling an extreme action by you are giving that person a ticket. They are going over and they are essentially going to die because of an action that you gave them that choice. But you gave them that ticket. Me, I am willing to give them the chance to learn the error of their thought process. If they are willing to learn it, if they have actually learned from it, then there is a chance that they might turn away from it. But if they still think that this or that is what they want to do, then by all means give them that choice to go over there. I mean, it's a very heavy slope because I could easily turn it off, go dark, and not give a fuck about life. I choose not to do that because of how terrifying a concept it is. And believe it or not, there was a time when I actually did turn it off, and I didn't like what I saw, because the point of it all was pure anarchy or black pill or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't work. You're killing, or you're taking a person's, or dying, but you put them on the avenue to death by sending or by giving them that ticket to go over there. Now, you personally wouldn't be the one handing them the ticket, but the persons or the people who are or instituting that sort of thing, giving them the free ticket to do that, that is essential. That's a Kevorkian kind of thing to do. That's what's basically known as assisted suicide.
Well, see, I don't see it that way at all. To me, they're adults. They're old enough to vote for president of the United States if they're American citizens and they're on a college campus, right? So if they can buy cigarettes and vote and do all these things, and they're making the conscious decision to protest against something and keep others from being able to go to work because they're blocking traffic or whatever it is they're doing if they're destroying property or blocking people from being able to do things, they should be punished somehow. And I'm telling them, oh, you got to pick up trash tomorrow on the side of the road. I don't think punishment enough for the disruption and the trash that they've done to these campuses that we have to pay for eventually. Because, I'm sure they have insurance, right? But the insurance goes up because they have to use it. And they charge the students more money, which means all the parents their kids are going to those colleges are going to all have to pay more money. See, one of the things that I think is ridiculous is if it was one of my children was at this college and I found out they were doing this stupid shit, I would say, find a way to pay for college yourself. I'm not paying for a dime.
Oh, that's another thing. Or that's something I would do if that ever happened with my, or if I ever had kids. But another thing, here's another thing.
That's what I expect.
Those who commit terrorist actions in the United States, if they are United States citizens, should be stripped from their citizenship. I'm sorry, but if you are going to act against America's interests, if you are going to commit a domestic terrorist action, you should not have those rights. You are choosing to act against America in that with those decisions you are making by attacking colleges and trying to intimidate the public. I'm sorry, but that sort of behavior, you should have federal charges put on you. You should catch federal charges, not state charges, federal charges, because terrorism is not just a state crime; it is a federal crime.
Well, yeah, you're on a slippery you're on a slippery slope saying that. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a delay right now.
How is it slippery?
Well, the reason I'm saying that, this is why I think it's slippery. Okay. Right now, because I am America first, not necessarily Trumper, right? I believe America should come before any other country, and American citizens should come before that. Well, guess what? I've already been declared a terrorist. They send out what do they call those guys that fly on the plane with you? With a
Marshall.
gun. Okay, they send out marshals right now with certain people fly in a plane that were on the terrorist watch list because they're deplorable. Okay, I'm one of them, and I haven't broken a single law. I haven't even gotten a speeding ticket because I pay my taxes, I pay my bills, I follow the law, I don't speed, I don't smoke, I don't drink and drive, I don't do drugs. I try to be the very best that I can be, but I'm on a terrorist watch list simply because I believe in America first. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying that. That's a slippery slope, because depending on who's in charge at the time, that's who they're going to point the finger at, what terrorist they think you are, or if that person is a terrorist. So it's got to be a law or a something like that that's been passed by a Congress and our Senate before we can start pointing the finger. Because if we point the finger at one group, the next group that comes in is going to point the finger at you next time. See, not because of you breaking the law, simply on the fact that they don't like you. They don't like what you have to say. And that's all the Trumpers have done, is going to rallies, waving American flags. I think that's right. I think it's great to do that. But another person may say, I don't want to see those American flags. That makes me feel like, oh, I just don't feel good. So I don't want to see one hanging in my neighborhood. Should they have the right from having a flag? Go ahead, Ruben. I'm sorry.
1 second. I'm going to step out for a second. I got to restart my laptop, see if that helps, because I am getting information that my signal's a bit choppy. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
No problem. Here's my concern, and it goes to what he was saying before in regards to the whole idea, the fact that you got to bring charges to them federally. So the question is, protest is a very important aspect to get your redress of grievances to the government. Mm-hmm. I haven't been really following this. All I really know is that they are doing something out there right now on campuses, and it's coordinated by Soros and what they're trying to do there. So if people want to protest, I don't care. Protest all you want. I don't care. I don't know what they're asking, what their general asking for. So ceasefire. It's ceremonial. They're doing this. That one girl that did this in front of like the California some city and saying, you have to, why aren't you, if we have to stand up for Gaza and demand a ceasefire, it's none of your concern, because again, a city call is not going to do anything. It has no weight. It's ceremonial. It's just like they're doing something. They feel that they're getting something done, and that's in the end, that's what they're doing. It's a cry out because they feel that they're not being listened to or whatever. They're being told this, and goes to the whole back. It's a subset of the whole idea that I have to work 3 jobs. I have to work a 40-hour work week. I have to work 3. I can't get a living. I can't do anything, and I'm being, and I need help, and that's what they're going on. So these people are a problem. So then basically calling them idiots, they're misguided completely, because they're on the wrong side of history when it comes to everything. Yeah. But again, the whole argument, if you take what he's saying, say Travis, and you basically substitute in, like you were saying, anybody from January 6th, any Trump person,
anything,
it's the same thing. So you be careful what you're saying. This goes back to what I was saying before. It's the reaction. If you basically call them idiots and don't arrest them all, or do this with all that stuff, or I was saying take their rights away to do anything, lock them up, it's the same thing. The slippery slope occurs, and that goes back to the whole idea. They want this to happen.
I'm not agreeing with that when it comes
to
that.
Not. I know you're not.
Because only a person, for me, it is any person to me, if you break the law, you should be held accountable for it, period. Mm-hmm. If you're protesting and you're sitting calmly or holding signs and walking around but not blocking traffic, not keeping people from going to class, you're handing out flyers, you're cleaning up your mess when you're finished, you're you're not trashing the place, you should have every right to do that. It doesn't matter what they protest, even if I'm against it. If I don't agree with them, they have the right to do it, just like I have the right to do it. But I don't have the right to go stand out in front of your driveway and not let you get out and lay out on the ground and stop you from going to work or getting groceries or whatever. That is breaking the law. That is the difference. That is what this gentleman is saying about how dumb they are, because they're protesting something that if they were in the other country, they wouldn't even have the right to protest. They'd be crucified.
But that's a problem of schooling. They don't understand. That's the whole thing. But they still, again.
That's the sad thing. Why isn't more people trying to talk to these people in these groups doing this on the campus? Going up and saying, don't you know they just killed this 18-year-old girl?
It doesn't matter, because they're convinced that that's misinformation. They think that's false. That think it's a false story. They are convinced this. They're convinced that everything that we brought up is wrong, because again, NBC, CBS wasn't whatever. CNN doesn't say this. We say it, so they say, oh well, then it's not real.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. How do we fix this? How do we bridge the gap? There's a huge gap. Okay, how do we fix that gap so that the kids that are protesting can actually see the facts and believe these are facts when they see it?
But that's on them. That's on them to figure it out, not us. It's not our job to basically say you're wrong and here's why you're wrong. No. If they let them be wrong, I don't care. Let them be wrong and then be proven wrong when they have to go to war. They have to do that. That's on them.
I can tell you right now, not one of these students, not one of these kids on this campus doing this stuff would even sign up to go protect this country.
Of course not.
I'm 100% in my heart believe that, because anyone that will desecrate the flag, the United States flag, is not a person that's going to want to defend that flag anywhere else. Not even on their own.
And the thing is, and here's the thing: the only solution, and it has happened already. You saw it happen, where you had, I don't know, I'm going to say this. I can't believe this. Eric Adams, New York mayor, actually said, "You don't do these things," and he sent the police in to do these things. You had those students that protected the American flag and raised it. You have, again, this generation, these classes, the people that are doing it in this school, the counter protesting has to rise up. The other side has to speak at their level. Anybody with an authority, like an adult or anything, trying to say anything, it's going to go in one ear out the other. It has to be their own kind doing it.
What scares me about that is I have heard and read posts on some different platforms, Instagram, TikTok, on Rumble, and on X, that there are young people that are going to these campuses that are approaching these people saying, hey, don't you know about this? Don't you know about that? And it has helped a little in some areas. But what scares me about that is the ones that aren't really, like we were talking about earlier, aren't students. The ones that are paid to be there.
Correct.
Protest. Those are the ones that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid those people in that position are saying, we got a juicy paycheck coming every day, or each week, or each so many days. And if these dum-dums talk these other people out of leaving, then there won't be any students here with us. So we got to stop them and then hurt one of them. Do something to them.
Then it happens. Then it happens. Yeah, then it happens. It has to happen. And then the other thing is that these are either if they're private schools or public schools, the media has to just basically go away. Just leave. Don't pop. Don't, it's not news anymore. walk away from it. But that's the whole point. The narrative of the media is to show this, to showcase this issue that is a problem. Because again, the end result of all this in the media's mind is a win-win for them. Either they get the clicks, they get people watching their coverage, seeing what's going on here, complaining about what's going on here, and then they win on both sides, where you have people saying, yes, we have to stop the ceasefire, we have to stop this right now. And it's just people doing that, or you have them, they have the cops go in there, throw everything away, and then we have our headlines now. We have people the cops are being vicious and doing stuff that they're being fascist government. So it's both on both. You see, that's what I'm saying right there. It's already happened 2 days ago, brawl. It happens. Yep. But that's the whole point. 1968 all over again, right on schedule for what's about to happen this summer. Here in Chicago, the Democratic National Convention, once again here, it's going to be a shit show. If things aren't resolved, you're going to have massive riots going on, and they're going to let it happen because that's what they want. They want chaos. That's what the bottom line is. The globalists want chaos.
And that's what is so sad to me, if you have common sense, you can see that they're setting them up for failure. The people that hired all these people to go to these campuses and get the other students riled up and get them to get signs and go out and protest and stand in traffic and block other students from going to class, all these things, it would have already been a huge riot fight if the conservative people were sick enough of it and decided, screw this shit, I'm going to fight my way to my class. And if I, hurt somebody, that's what's going to happen. Because they're conservative, that's the reason why it hasn't happened. Okay. Yeah. And then I hear this. I hear this opposite side. Well, if conservatives weren't such pussies, they would have put a stop to this already. But why does the conservatives have to get hurt, go to the hospital and stuff simply because they have the wherewithal to see how stupid all of this is, and they're just staying out of it because they know that it's just going to end up in a huge brawl, and innocent people are going to get hurt. And they're innocent in the fact that they're too dumb to understand that they're being played like harps or violins or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. To me, it's as plain as day that what they're doing. But until it happens and they call martial law, then people run thin. They'll say, wow, is that why they did this? Is that why they set this up? So we'd have martial law. They wouldn't have to have elections, or you have to have only mail-in ballots or whatever it is. I don't know what it is that they're doing, but it's leading that way. That's where it's all heading. All of this is heading down that path. And I'm just shocked that so many people just don't see it.
We have let it get.
Oh, he's dropped out again, I guess. But that's what I was trying to say.
The problem is we have let it get, or am I coming through clearly?
Well, you keep like blanking out and just stopping.
That's weird because I reset the computer and everything.
So, is it doing that for you?
I think Ruben has completely frozen.
No, he's blinking and everything.
I'm here.
But Ruben, did he stop for you?
You're phasing out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I wish I could help you with that. I don't know what to.
It's Windows.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is.
Just kidding.
But it's all right. It's okay. It's just a glitch. It's a shit show, anyways, right? That's how we're supposed to be.
It's in the Matrix.
But the sad thing is that all he was trying to do with this talk, because he was so frustrated. It's so frustrating when you watch these people making fools of themselves in lockstep, because the people that want them to do it are just standing back going, we know what we're doing. Look at them. They're doing it for us. We don't have to do it. See?
Yeah, but that's the whole point. But that's the
I
whole
know,
point.
and that's what's heartbreaking about it to me,
Not really.
because I can see it.
I want them to, but again, in the end, they will grow up, and again, they will realize the problem that they did was wrong. That's the whole point. You know, because again, you have it. Because again, the generations change, and you have these.
Is that better?
Yes.
These are kids. These are kids. These are kids.
No, that's what's sad about it.
And no, but that again. Here's the idea. This goes back to what I said before, and I said it again. When you were me, when I was 9, I was babysitting, I was taking care of kids, I was doing things around the house, I was cooking, I was doing stuff. You know, my wife had her last child. I would take care of all 4 kids or 3 kids myself, and I would help. And then when I got my license at 15. I would drive around and go to the grocery store and do stuff and make meals and do that stuff and do things outside and all that stuff. I would do stuff. And then of course, you know, that's you do. And when they basically said 18 years old, you're out of the house. You're done. Then they changed the whole idea that no, you can't get rid of it. You have to keep them on their insurance till they're 26 years old. My God. They changed it. It was like 18, and then it was 21 when you can't drink when you're 18. Then it's 21. Then it's 26. They're just keeping perpetual childhood. Okay, stay in school, do this, do that. And you have these people that are just going to school, and you see them there like they're just going to go to school, and then they're going to get out and get good jobs. They're not going to get good jobs. They're not going to get anything. They're just the basket weaving and all that crap they're doing, or gender studies and all that crap. They're going to do anything. They're going to be really pissed off at the system. They're going to blame the system because, again, they fell for the lie. And the thing is that they're falling for all these things that are out there, not being responsible. But again, the whole point here is, the whole bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, the best analogy is, like, don't touch that pot. It's too hot. It's boiling on the stove. No, let the fucking kid touch it and burn his hand. See, I told you so. That's the whole point. We have to let people fail. You have to let people feel some pain on their own. You fucked up. You found out. You screwed up. This and that. If you want to protest all you want. You want to petition, do something like that, or whatever. But when it comes to like damaging property, be it like throwing like a paint at a painting and ruining it, or blocking a road, or going to a school and occupying it, destroying property of the public university. That's when the governor should go in there and say, hey, no, get out. You're not doing this. You can stay outside, protest in the yard, do what you want. But you're not going to damage property or cause any problems. You're not going to go after Jewish kids who they're blocking and saying you can't be here anymore.
The other college that they sent in all those police officers and they cleared the whole place out.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand why that shouldn't that be like a something that they do on all college campuses if there's some kind of stupid shit happening?
It goes to the city, the mayor, it goes to the state or county, whatever, and the sheriff, whatever. It goes to that making a decision, or the governor making a decision, And if California's not going to do anything. If it's Governor Newsom won't do anything. Hochul won't do anything in New York. But Adams did in New York because he's suffering right now. He's having problems, but he's trying to do this to backtrack. But again, people have to feel the pain to do these things, and you can't just basically stop them from hurting themselves. Let them hurt themselves to get to learn the lesson.
Yep, and you're right about that, and that's the thing is that most people don't learn their lesson or learn from their mistakes because they get covered. The government or the parents or someone else covers for them and says, well, they were only doing what they thought was right and whatever, making up excuses for them. So, that is That's just something that happens, I
Yeah,
guess.
I hear you.
Yeah, you sound a lot better.
Am I coming through clearly?
Yes, I think so.
All right.
Can you hear us really good?
Oh yeah, I can hear you guys a lot better now. I'm guessing it was because of the window being up for as long as it was. May the 4th was always a big day for my peeps. To talk to the chat for a bit, yeah, a lot of people are what is Star Wars Day? If you're saying, or there's a gimmick going around that tomorrow is Star Wars Day because May the 4th be with you and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
Thankfully, Disney actually listened to the diehard Star Wars fans that May the 4th is not Star Wars Day. May 25th is Star Wars Day because May 25th was when Star Wars was was released to the world, was born to the world. May 25th, 1977. As for Imagine John Lennon, that he even admitted later on after that song was sung that it was basically the Communist Manifesto. Now, if I was more politically aware back in my formative years in my grade school days, I would have told my music teacher that I was not going to sing that song because that was the song we had to sing during our graduation from grade school to middle school. And it's like, I never really liked it myself. To be completely honest, the song, I just wasn't a Beatles fan. But it never really resonated with me. And I guess on some level, I could understand why. But yeah, the song Imagine was not really thought through. I mean, even freaking Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman actress, she even admitted it was not the best idea to do that whole thing during COVID when she was just trying to be like unifying it. It's like, yeah, bad choice of song to do that with. But yeah, he was a social. Yeah, he was a socialist. I mean, a lot of people over in England are socialists, and because despite what they say England's government is, it is very much socialist over there. It is very much not republic. And yeah, they may have democratic vote and whatnot, like we do here. We have a democratic vote, but we do not have a democracy, which is majority rule. I mean, remember when I first entered the shit show with Janet?
That's what they want.
Yeah, they want us to believe we are.
The popular vote. And that's why they keep using democracy on everything, because they want everyone to be pre-programmed. So when they try to change and get rid of the electoral college, people will say, oh, yeah, that's what's best for our democracy.
I mean, honestly,
I even had one of my own sisters was arguing with me that she thought that we should have popular vote. And then I tried to explain it to her because she just didn't seem to comprehend. I said, our forefathers set up an electoral college because states like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, all these smaller states in the center that are mostly farms and cattle ranches and stuff like that would have no say when it came to the vote of the president or certain things. You would have some say in your own state, but you wouldn't have any say outside your state when it came to the federal government. She couldn't understand. And I said, the city of New York, just the city, not the state, just the city outvotes Arkansas, the whole state. Does that make sense now?
The city, New York City, actually decides the gubernatorial vote itself most of the time when it comes to governor elections in the state of New York.
That the amount of people that are just in that one city, because she couldn't fathom it. And I said, now you look how long it takes you to drive through Arkansas. Okay. That's a long drive. But the fact that there's not as many people in the whole state of Arkansas as there is in the one city in New York, she just couldn't get it. a lot of people cannot understand that, and understand that one state, just the state of New York, outvotes 5, 6, 7, 8 states in the middle, because that's how few people are there compared to that one state. And people can't comprehend that. So when they come up with this whole thing, democracy, you have to explain to them that we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic, because your state even has a constitution. Okay, what will you lose if you don't have a constitution in your own state?
And a fun fact.
Sad.
A fun fact. Look at all 50 state constitutions and look at our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, or our federal Constitution. If you look at all of those, read them all word for or word to word, not one of them has the word democracy in them.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of those are not one of our founding documents, and none of the 50 state constitutions have the word democracy in it. And yes, John, I like that quote. A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. Yep.
That's what happened in Rome, right?
And another one of the funny things, or another great quote, was a democracy cannot exist, or democracies have only ever been, God damn it, had the quote too, but as violent as they are in life, and as violent, or it's something about as violent as in death as well. But essentially the point is governments that are democracies are self-destructive. They never last. Rome did a good job with the Republic. However, it was through complacency that they fell. And the United States, or the Union, it is a 200 and, well, almost 50-year-old, 248-year-old, this July.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 250-year-old experiment. And the experiment is showing that we are on the verge of collapse. I mean, it's lasted pretty long. How long did the Roman Empire last?
I don't think it
before
lasted
it fell to from republic to democracy.
But one thing I wanted to say, as I read this, landowners only voting G was a great idea. People who have nothing to lose have nothing to lose. See, that's one of the things that I talk about a little bit here and there, is the fact that a person who doesn't work, okay, that's getting paid for doing nothing, by the government. I'm not talking about people that are on disability. I'm talking about people that are getting, food stamps and things like that, and they don't put anything into anything. They don't volunteer. They don't add to society at all besides take. And then they bitch and moan that it's not the best of this and they don't get the best of that. Those people are most likely not going to vote anyways. Okay. So they're not the ones that are making it worse. They're not helping because they're not trying to make themselves better. They're not trying to better themselves. I remember one time where I was in a situation where I almost had to do that, to sign up for assistance for my kids to get their vaccinations and things like that. The thing is, I started thinking about it and I went, you know what? I can babysit at home for other people and make some money. I can start sewing. I can start doing some things. So I started doing more things like that, getting hands-on that way to make a few extra dollars so I could help pay some bills. Okay. So instead of taking a handout or going to ask people to give me money, I started trying to come up with ways, but what can I make or do for someone where they'd want to give me money without me having to ask for money? There was a difference. And that, I think, was because that's how my mother was. My mother instilled that in me to earn. When you earn something, let's say when you save your money yourself, you worked really hard and you're putting your little stash away, and then you go on your own vacation, or you buy your first motorcycle, or you buy something else, a new computer like this one I have right now that I'm using. I looked and looked and looked, trying to find the best computer for streaming and stuff because I wanted to learn how to do stuff, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money, but I wanted one that was worth the money if I did spend a little bit more money. And I was hounding Bruce, and some of my other friends on Discord. How do I do this? What do I do? What's best? And they said, get this, get that. Oh, that's a good system, whatever. And they helped me make the best decision that I felt I was going to make when I did spend the money. And that's the good thing, is that we all have someone in our lives that knows a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and another friend that knows something about that. Use your resources to help you make better decisions at home for yourself, and then be ready to help the other people when they ask you, hey, you did this once before, you did that, or you sewed this. Can you show me or tell me how to do it myself? You see? And if we can all do that and help each other, guess what? We're less on having to depend on others to do it for us, because we're willing to help ourselves and to help others. See, that to me, I just wish more people had that mentality to want to give of themselves instead of just take. I see right now we're in a society that everyone wants to take. They don't want to give, and they want to go through the drive-through and get. This is what they want. They want everything right now. And that's why I think a lot of the problems that we're having is because unless they can get an instant gratification, they're not interested in doing anything if it takes any work. And they're never satisfied with anything, because if they can't get it right then, they just go on to the next thing. That's what I see in our society. And I wish there was some way for us to, change it, fix it. Besides doing what we're doing right now, talking, sharing information, trying to explain this stuff out or try to figure things out and give other people ideas on what they can do. I don't know what else to do. I do this. I'm not monetized. I'm not making any money. I do it because I'm passionate about it. It's something I believe in. Ever since Drew Taylor asked me to come on his show, the United Resistance, that one time, because I watched the show 4 or 5 times, for a while before that. And when he asked me to come on, I was shocked that he even cared about my opinion. But we had talked on Discord and some other avenues, and he thought I was sensible, that I had a good head on my shoulders, that I didn't seem like I was a half-cocked lunatic or anything. So when he no longer was doing it and I was able to start my own channel, I thought, I'd like to have a show where we can discuss things and try to come up with avenues, different directions, and listen to other people's points of view on it, and let other people that listen to our show be able to make decisions for themselves, whether they agree with us or not. The fact that they're thinking about it now, to me, is what's real important. And the fact that people are thinking because they listen is a growing thing for all of us, to try to listen more and stop other people from not listening and trying to learn something new that might help us in the future to make good changes for the people that we're leaving behind when we're gone. So, okay, I'm done with my rant. So go ahead, Orange. I'll let you dive back in again if you want.
I put the quote from James Madison that I was trying to quote and butchering the job in the chat. But basically, hence it is such democracies have ever been spectacles of turbulence and contention, have ever been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and have in general been as short in their lives as they have been violent in their deaths. Which was, or the Federalist Papers were also basically guides for our channel. And he lost his channel.
He lost his channel again.
Yeah.
Hey,
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it right now.
Would you put can you send me his or put in the chat, put Wes's other account addresses in the chat for everybody to please see, and I'll post it up here so people can see it. That's horrible. No, I don't know what he did. Why do they hate him so much? Well, I lost my channel for 3 weeks. So, we can't help it. He's as passionate as I am about, voicing his opinion. But yeah, I just started a Patreon myself because I wanted to try to get to people
Here.
that might want to help me out to learn new things and to see which way I'm going to go. Whether it's going to be just all Rumble or X, or if I'm going to stay on YouTube. I don't know. YouTube is not very nice to us, people that don't agree with them. Because I don't agree with saying a person that likes little kids should be called a minor attracted person. I think that's just messed up big time. And I'm not going to say it. So, oh, hi, Papa Cotton. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to see you.
I put his Rumble channel in the private chat.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share it because I don't think he'll care if we do. I mean, honestly, I think we should. Let's say copy link. Here we go. Thank you.
Democracies are good in small doses, Chris Moore. I'm not going to say that they aren't, but they also have to have a check on them to make sure that they don't go or get out of control. The United States can't have a pure democracy because one, a pure democracy is a stepping stone essentially. Socialism, when people talk socialism, they don't understand that socialism is literally a middle step. We get democracy, which eventually will lead to socialism, which then leads to communism. Mm-hmm. And that was another thing that our forefathers and others who were involved with things like the Declaration of Independence also understood, because these are the things that they warned us against. The Federalist Papers were used to warn us against abuses of our government.
I just want to say one thing about that is the fact that a lot of people can't comprehend what it's like when they don't have to live with it on a daily basis. Just like we always say, it has to be in their lap or has to affect them before they start making decisions to change it, right? So one thing I wanted to say is that I have relatives that are in Nova Scotia, and from Canada and things like that. And their social medicine is not what people think. You think you might want it here, but you don't. Our system maybe have some bad flaws, but it's better, because I can tell you right now, in Canada right now, if you were to go in and make an appointment to get a breast, scan because you found a lump or something, okay, a woman. Well, guess what? It takes almost a year to get in. And if you already have a lump, it could already be in your lymph nodes before you even get in to get examined to see if you even have one, because they have one mammogram equipment machine for almost 1 million people. Okay, because they don't have the money to buy all these equipment for people that are on socialized medicine. Here's the other fact for women. I can only talk about women because that's all I know. I don't know a lot about men for prostate cancer or things like that. But also women, when you find out, normally when a woman finds out she's pregnant, she's usually about 3 months. Okay, it's about 3 months along. That's when you realize, oh my God, I haven't had my period, whatever. Okay, the thing is, they say, well, we'll have a bed in the hospital in 8 months. So guess what? You're more likely going to have your baby at home without being at the hospital because they don't have a place for you. Okay. So, or you're going to have a midwife or something and have your baby at home. It's not what you think. And it's sad. But before you start whining, complaining, and saying you want to have socialized medicine here in America, research other countries. Look at the statistics of deaths, of people dying, giving birth, how fast they die from breast cancer. Why do millions of people come to America to get breast cancer treatments? Okay, it's because we're the number one in the country. So yeah, it may not be perfect, but I'm telling you, you don't want socialized medicine. That's all I wanted to add. Go ahead. Sorry, it takes me so long to explain anything, but I truly believe that, because I know just from what I know, my family members have told me. Go ahead.
Actually, I was done making a point.
Oh, okay. I have something else I wanted to bring up real quick. I forgot about. So let me open it real quick. I think it's great. There we go. I want to play this. Let's see. Make sure it's turned up. Make it a little bigger.
With us today, we have Riley Gaines. a 12-time All-American swimmer with 5 SEC titles, and one of the bravest voices speaking out on this issue. If the weak men running the White House had half the courage of Riley, our country would be in a much better place. Frankly, I'm appalled at what is coming out of Washington. I've said before that the dividing line in this country is no longer between right and left. It's between normal and crazy. And the most recent attack on common sense came from President Biden's Department of Education and their total rewrite of Title IX. When Title IX was first written, it was 37 words long. However, last month, President Biden released a reinterpretation of Title IX that comes in at an insane 459,000 words. Let that sink in. Title IX
If a lot of those words are
protect women, but Biden's Title IX attempts to erase women completely. My message to Joe Biden and the federal government is that we will not comply.
Ta-da! I love this lady. So thankful that I live in her state now. And I just think she's wonderful. I think she's making choices to save our country, starting with our state, the state that I moved to. And I'm so thankful I'm here, because that is someone who cares about where we're going. So when I say some of the things I say, maybe I'm not right, maybe I'm not right 100%, which I know I'm not. I make mistakes just like everyone. And sometimes I say the wrong thing, or I say it in the wrong way. That's something I know I do. But the thing is, I believe in what I'm saying. Okay. I live my life that way. I try to. And I wish more people had that opportunity. That's all I was going to say. But I love Sarah. I think she's wonderful. And I've met her many, many times, and I think she's great. I wish all of you could have a governor that cared about their state as much as she cares about Arkansas.
Hochul, actually, not to give her too much, or I'm not giving her any credit for this, though. Yeah. Hochul actually, I think we discussed this before, but I don't think we discussed it on stream. She reversed the squatters laws in New York.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, but the thing is, as I said, she's not getting any credit for it, because it took a life being taken by squatters to finally say enough is enough. And honestly, as a New Yorker, I would like the ability to actually speak with my governor and actually say, look, you're not going to get the credit for this. You don't get credit for cleaning up a mistake, especially a mistake that you and your party created. It took a person being killed because of these laws, these flawed laws that endanger the public more than they protect the public, in order for you guys to do something. How many more people are going to have to die before you actually take a step towards, erasing the sanctuary state laws? People actually need to, I hate to say it, get in the faces of their governors. As much as I hate Maxine Waters, she has a small point. Not violently get up in their faces, but actually form a freaking committee and set up a meeting with their governor and say, look, you don't get credit for cleaning up your mistakes. And you need to also be reminded that just because some people don't vote for you does not mean that you were elected to serve them as well. When you are a governor, you serve, or you may have a Democrat or a D next to your name, but God damn it, you are also here to serve both Republicans and Democrats. You have to serve both of or all of New Yorkers are your constituents. And you telling Republicans to get the hell out of New York, you should or honestly, free speech, yeah, good on you for having it. But that kind of statement should bar you from your position. You should be removed from your position if you are saying that, or if you are telling your own freaking constituents to get the hell out and that they're not welcome. How dare you actually, or how dare a governor actually say that to their freaking constituents? It's like, if you are trying to make people's lives miserable just because they didn't vote for you, you should be removed from office. And as much as I also hate saying it, folks, some of these people in government, they don't have your best interests at heart. And we were a nation that was built on building our own destinies. We were a nation that took our freedom by force. If our freedoms are constricted, we should take our freedoms back by force. It is our right. It is our duty. And as it says in the Declaration of Independence, it is our right, it is our duty to throw off such governments and to provide security or measures for future security. If these or the Declaration of Independence may not be a living document that distributes or that is for law, but it is one of our founding documents, and it still does have weight. And believe it or not, that long train of abuses line fits this current government right now.
I wasn't trying to laugh at you. I was laughing at one of the people who entered our chat. Did you see
Osama bin Laden? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. And then
I have a wife as a coat. Yes, I know.
So, I was chuckling from that. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to.
Say this though, I do like the fate of the real person that this parody is all about. I do like what happened to him because the government of the country we went in and took out the trash from. They're like, we would like his body so that we can claim it and give it a proper burial. It's like, nah, fuck you. We're going to throw it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Me, personally, I would have made sure to find the most shark-infested waters and toss the body in there. And then I would have recorded it and sent it back to the freaking country and said, if you don't clean up your fucking terrorist problem, we're going to do this to every single terrorist we find. And you know what? Sometimes we might just make sure they're alive to experience it. Now, that's a example of me being heartless, folks. Hold on one moment. But yeah, you want me to be heartless, and you want to see heartless. If you are committing a terrorist act in this country, I do believe you should be publicly executed. After trial, of course. And no matter if it is something as small as trying to intimidate others at a college by claiming a protest, you're not protesting if you are destroying property and trying to intimidate the populace to do what you want. No, that's terrorism. You should be executed for terrorism. If you want to see me get cold, you want to see me get heartless, that's how I feel that it should be done. I also believe that public executions should make a comeback. Because here's the thing, if a person like a child molester or whatever is found guilty beyond all doubt, reasonable doubt, they get life in prison. Beyond all doubt, meaning there is absolute evidence that absolutely proves that they did it. They are not to be given 3 meals a day. They are to be brought out in front of the courtroom or in front of the courthouse, put on their knees, and a bullet is to be put through their head. here's the thing, folks. Crime needs to be shown, or our country needs to be shown that crime will no longer be tolerated. And it needs to be shown in the most extreme way possible. Now, I am not saying that you need to violate people's human rights to do it. No, I am simply saying enact the laws that are currently on the books. If your country or if your state has a death penalty, enforce it. And here's the thing. If you have a bunch of people on death row or life sentences and there's absolutely no chance of them getting out, kill them. Stop wasting money. Stop wasting the taxpayer dollars to feed these people and execute them. They aren't going anywhere except for walking around and whatnot. No, they aren't going to get out. No.
The only sad fact about that is, the truth about that is that we have too many bleeding heart liberals for that to ever happen.
Fuck them. The law is not built around feelings.
They would rather you get rid of your baby and for your baby before they would take the life of a prisoner that's on life death row.
And that is exactly what I would say to them.
30 people. They don't care because they think a person that's a grown up that makes bad decisions over and over again and hurts others is worth more than a baby. So,
and that is what I would tell them. It's like, you think that a person who just murdered a bunch of people who also fucked a bunch of kids deserves your sympathy? No, they don't. I'm sorry. You're not going to get a say in this. That person is going to die for their crimes. If you think that we should be showing them sympathy simply because, feelings, they shouldn't be killed, but you think it's all right to murder a baby in the womb and tear it apart and crush its brain matter and have it leaking out of a woman's vagina as they are getting the baby torn apart, I'm sorry. You do not deserve to have any say in how the law enforcement system determines punishment for lifers. I'm sorry, but this is my opinion, folks. Anybody who is in prison for life, meaning that there's no chance for them to ever get out of jail because of the crimes they committed, if they were convicted beyond any doubt, all doubt, they should be put to death. You want to solve the problem with prison overpopulation and whatnot? Stop closing prisons and start executing those who need to be executed.
How long should a person be if a person has been convicted and put in prison for life to never ever get out because of murder or whatever it was they were put in there for, how long do they have to actually serve before you're allowed to take them out and execute them? Because
they shouldn't be allowed to live any longer than their court or their sentencing.
They've been overturning a bunch of people's life convictions and stuff recently under this administration. So that's what they'll say. They'll say, well, what if some evidence came up 10 years down the road to prove that person didn't do that crime, and they should be released and get a new trial or whatever, that type of thing. So that's why it will never happen. It will never happen.
Like I said, if they have been convicted beyond all doubt, meaning there was absolutely no chance of finding evidence down the road that overturns a conviction. Those who are found beyond all doubt, not reasonable doubt, all doubt, are the ones that need to be said, no more freaking 3 meals a day for you. Sorry, but you're going to be executed today. I'm sorry, folks, but that's how, or we need to get people to fear the frickin', or to respect the law, yes, but also fear the law, because take it from somebody who had to learn this lesson the hard way, even though they didn't, or they weren't
I
put in
watched
jail through no fault of their own.
I watch lots of documentaries. I really like documentaries.
Documentaries are one thing; they don't show you everything.
No, I know, but I watched this documentary and it made me look into it. I can't remember what her name is, but once, if I can go and look, I will try to share it with you later. But this woman was driving her mother somewhere to the hospital or something. I don't remember for sure, a doctor appointment. And they something ran in front of them. I think it was a deer or something, and she swerved, went off the road, and she went down an embankment and got stuck down there. And the engine was running, it was revving, okay, but she couldn't turn it off. So she kept turning the key, it wouldn't go off. And finally, she thought she was able to turn it off. And then she told her mom her seatbelt was messed up because of the wreck. When they got down to the end of the thing with the trees, she couldn't get her mother out. So she gets up and she's standing up there trying to get help for someone to help her. And the car starts on fire. Well, her mother ends up dying in the car, and the seats melted a whole bit. It was really, really bad. Well, later, they accused her of murdering her mother, saying that she wanted her money and whatever else. Okay, so she got life in prison, but found out later on because somebody thought the whole thing was fishy, and they started looking into it, and they found out those cars, whatever car that was she was driving, had ignition switch problems, and that the engines would burst into flames. And then the way the pattern of the melting and different things, I don't know how they did it, but they were able to prove that she didn't murder her mother. You know, all the things that happened because it was the accident, the way it happened, and all that. And this woman was released from prison and finally given justice because she lost her mother and then went to prison for life for murdering her. And she was already guilty in her mind for her mom dying, and she couldn't do anything. Okay. So I'm just saying it's a slippery slope with a lot of these different things, even though I agree with you. I wish there was a way that we could get rid of a lot of these people, especially someone like BTK. That they had tons of evidence. He admitted in court he's the one that murdered all those families. And then you got a guy right now on death row or in prison. I don't know if he's on death row. The guy, the Golden State Killer that killed all those people. Okay, murdered the husband, left him tied up while he's raping and murdering his wife in the other room, stuff like that. He put cups on them so that they moved, the cup would fall, and he told them if the cup falls off, then I'm a killer. He wasn't a killer anyways. But the thing is, the guy that was tied up on the bed didn't know that. But people like that, and the Green River Killer, Ted Bundy, all those people with all that evidence, I wish they would just have a public execution and get rid of them as soon as they're convicted, instead of giving them more time on this planet than they gave their victims. I really want to see that. But I can understand all those families that lost their children to what was that guy that murdered all those young gay men? I can't remember what his name is right now, that got beat to death in prison and he died. Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, all those families, all those people that lost all those loved ones to one psychopath, and then there's no justice. There really isn't. No matter what they do to this person, it's never going to bring back the person that was taken from them. But if we lose one innocent person, we find out later on they were innocent and we killed them, I couldn't live with the fact that I did that. I wouldn't want to be involved in it. That's why I'm a firm believer of if I ever get to be on a jury, I will not convict a person if there's not enough evidence. If the evidence does not prove to me that that person did it, I could not sleep at night for the rest of my life knowing that I convicted someone simply because, they look like a killer or this, that, or the other, because lots of men and women rape kids and they don't look like rapists. But the kid says, yeah, they did. And the DNA proves they did it. They don't look like it. You can't judge a book by its cover. You have to use proof. And just like you said, I 100% agree. I wish we didn't have to pay 1 cent for these people. I wish 1 dime wouldn't go to these people. That guy that murdered his pregnant wife and then took his 2 babies up and put them on those oil towers and stomped them, their little heads and their little bodies down in those halls, all for a piece of ass. He did that. Okay. It's disgusting. And that's what I started off the whole show about this earlier tonight, was the debauchery of our country and the people in it that have become so self-absorbed and they don't care about anyone. They don't even care about their own children's lives. They're willing to take their lives for a simple act of getting a blowjob from a bitch. Okay. Stuff like that. It's disgusting and repulsive. And it tells me that we have got to burn down the society and rebuild or something. I don't know what to do.
Look at what happened in Chicago recently.
I don't know which thing.
There was a cop that was killed, and the mayor was told by the parents flat out, or by the mother of the cop, "Don't you dare show up at this funeral. We do not want you here." And so after he decided not to, the mayor was sought out by the press, and the press found him, and the mayor started running away because running away from the press. And it's like, why are you running away from us, sir? And it's like, yeah, he's not going to want to show his face, especially around these people, because one, the mayor, every time he gets called out, they have no recall option in Chicago. That was recently found out. They're actually having to explore recall options to see if they can get a recall for him, because the people actually spoke. They wanted him recalled. But unfortunately, there's no law in the book in Chicago to recall him. And every time he hears about, or every time somebody asks him about this stuff, he's like, "Oh, that's just the right-wing Trump-supporting group that is trying to get me thrown out." And it's like, do you not hear what these people say? It's on the news all the time, dude. They always say, and this is absolutely this is very funny. That's like, we are going to vote red next time, meaning or implying that they have voted blue last time in order to get this guy out, to teach their government a lesson. It's like the fact that there's a guy called the Black Conservative Perspective. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He's a great YouTuber. I've mentioned him a couple times before. He says the best way to teach these people a lesson is to give them what they want. Because once they get what they want and they find out it's not what they want, or it's not what they wanted, that's the only way they will learn. Look at Michael Rappaport, who is an actor, a very Trump deranged actor, or TDS actor. He's like, fuck Trump, pig dick Trump, and all that other stuff, calling him all sorts of different names all throughout the years that he's been president. And then over the last few months, he's actually been speaking out against Democrats, against their policies and whatnot. He's like, first off, I'm Jewish. And the fact that you all are not speaking on the situation over in Israel, it's like, you basically are turning me against you. And he actually is now saying, I'm going to vote for Trump. And I am sick of this, because I've looked up Trump's policies. I've looked up what's going on here and there. I found out, life was a lot better under Trump, and I'm no longer going to hide from it. So voting for Trump is on the table. And while it is good that this guy is finally waking up to these facts, Michael Rappaport, you have also said some pretty heinous shit. We will forgive, sure. We won't forget, though. It looks like you have a multi-profile bot or multi-profile sicko in the chat. So good on you, Six Nations, for catching on them.
Yeah, I just
good.
It was me.
Janet.
I gave him timeouts. I kicked them out.
Don't give them timeouts. These ones give them pure ban.
If they come back, I'll ban them again. But I'm just, I don't know who they are, so I'm just.
You're basically getting the spammers.
Well, all of us. I've had many sex bots in Bruce and I's chat.
Oh, trust me, I have had my fair share of them as well. And the thing is, Yeah. Well, freaking wake up, Six Nations, if you're not the one doing it.
I saw
But
it.
anyway,
Normally, I
it's-
don't see it because I'm too busy. I don't get to read very much. But I was laughing so much from the goat earlier, thinking
Yeah.
that he was going to post something, and he didn't. It happened to be another name, so I was like, well, okay.
But yeah, and there's another one.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'll have to do it this time.
Get him, Six Nations. Oh my god, it's actually freaking midnight already. Holy shit. But yeah, or definitely check out Black Conservative Perspective,
What
Janet.
happened? Did he get
Dude,
what
Papa-
happened to him? Let me give Papa his thing back. I don't know what happened. Let me
Papa.
get back his
Papa
let me
don't-
give
Have a wrench. He
his
lost
wrench
his wrench.
said. What
Mind
happened?
your wrench. I don't know. Maybe he lost his wrench.
I know, but how?
I don't know. Bad luck. Got struck by lightning. Didn't pay his tax to Janet. I don't know.
I don't collect any taxes. There, you should have it back now.
Now
Sorry.
say another thing, Papa.
Say
Speak.
something.
There
Yay!
you
Go Wolf. There we go. There it is. I've been
Welcome
through
back.
2 channels since the
sorry,
last time
I
I had a wrench.
I didn't know
Well,
you,
there you
I didn't
go.
know you lost it. I'm sorry.
Yep, there you go.
But
yeah,
since we're it's almost 2 hours that we've been going at it. Do you guys have anything you want to say about what's coming up on your channels?
I got my weekly recap coming up. Since we're in May, my theme streams are Star Wars related. Not going to be movie reviews. I've done enough of those already, and nobody cares about my reviews anyway. So, I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on certain aspects and whatnot. The original trilogy, prequel trilogy, the EU, and then I will also at the end of the month give my thoughts on the Disney content that is known as an interpretation of Star Wars, not real Star Wars, but also with OG Star Wars, OG Mara Jade on Twitter. Me and Mara are going to be talking 1s and 2s. It's Wesley Snipes May, so we're going to be talking Wesley Snipes movies, specifically Blade 1 and 2 for the 1s and 2s, and for the singles on my channel, it's going to be Murder at 1600 as well as Demolition Man. Very fitting when it comes to political climate and whatnot. Both of those movies, in fact. As for Tuesday nights, I'm on the Barroom Podcast. And Sunday, the 19th, is going to be a special weekly recap because it's going to be dedicated to the first. It's going to be dedicated to the Episode 1 Star Wars 25th anniversary, where me and my friend Kate from Nerd with a Cigar is going to be talking about Episode 1, different things behind the scenes and the movie and whatnot. Just a good, fun chat. I still do like Star Wars, folks. I still absolutely enjoy Star Wars, but I enjoy it privately nowadays because there are people who are part of the fan base that have become rather narcissistic and disgusting in how they view people in their own community. And I think that I don't want to be a part of that. And I would rather be a more positive discussing things. People are allowed to have different opinions, and just because you don't like certain people's choices doesn't give you any sort of position over them. And unfortunately, some of these people don't like that inconvenient fact for them. But yep, that's what I got going on. And Janet, thanks for having me on the shit show. Sorry, folks, I couldn't continue the Orange Hat Uncensored. I got rid of the stream because it was wreaking havoc with the signal. There's been a lot of shit going on with electronics lately that's been causing problems. So maybe next Friday I'll be able to have my uncensored side a little bit better. But yeah, I also have a couple videos out. My novel review for Godzilla Kong. This one here, the book. Great book. I recommend it. Check out my review.
Jesus.
As well as I discussed today, Chucky in the Chucky series giving a kid a romantic kiss. So how that kind of disgusting stuff is going on. So check out those two videos. Those are my latest videos. And yeah, that's what I got going on.
Good. Ruben, do you have anything planned?
I've been planned. I'm putting out videos slowly because again I fell down last week. I hit my head, but I'm fine. And just continue to do my workouts, my healing, and it's been rough because again I'm putting my progress out there. So follow me on Rumble, YouTube, X, and I'm going to be doing some posting out there, but slowly and surely. Just got to keep positive attitude, keep fighting for our future.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. That's what I'm doing. That's what I try to do. But for me, coming up, I have tomorrow. I'll be playing another Pathfinder type game, Dungeons and Dragons, with Bruce and the rest of the guys, and that'll be fun. We'll probably do that for six hours at least, and then Sunday we're going to be watching the movie Rock-a-Doodle, I think, something like that. I've never seen it. I think it's an animated movie. It has, I think, what's the guy, the rhinestone cowboy guy? What's his name? Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
He's a singer in this movie, so I've never seen it before or heard of it. But Crafting Gamer recommended that we watch it, so I think he's going to join us. And then after we watch it, we'll go live and we'll review it. Okay. I think I'm going to be wearing like overalls and my cowboy hat or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll dress up like a scarecrow or something. I don't know. We'll see. It'd be fun. Since I haven't seen the movie, I don't really know the characters and their cartoons, and I know I can't be a cartoon, so oh well, we'll have to see what happens. But I got that, and then hopefully next week we'll have the Thursday night shit show team shit. I know. And then Friday night we'll have our show again. I don't know. I've been invited to a couple things. I think Wednesday night I'm supposed to go on. Okay, see how bad I am about scheduling stuff. Tobat's channel, and I think I'll dress up like my alien because we're going to talk about abductions, UFOs, and different stories like that. So that'll be fun. So I'll get to be I tried it out the other night, went live with Orange Chat. He went with me, and I got to be in my little costume with my green skin and my white hair, my antenna. It was fun. We didn't do it very long, but I only did it on X because I wanted to show some trailers, and I knew I couldn't do it on here because on YouTube would have gotten rid of me, and I already have a strike against my channel still until June 2nd. So, and it's for that medical misinformation crap that I supposedly did. Because I had we talked about the Florida Surgeon General, and it was on Tucker Carlson's show, so they took me down for 3 weeks over that crap. But oh well, I can't help it. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and I'm doing the best I can to not go overboard. But it's really hard because there aren't any strict rules by YouTube. Basically, they go by the whim. It's like if the guy or the person that's in charge of looking at your stuff doesn't like you, then you're shit out of luck. It doesn't matter what shit you have; they're gonna find something wrong with it. Just like what we just saw earlier tonight when we found out that Wes got his channel taken down again. So and was he monetized yet again this time?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, see, it's like, you got a big channel with 100,000 people. You can pretty much say and do whatever you want because you're making YouTube too much money to get rid of you. But the little people like me, I get asked all the time, wow, you don't have over 1,000 yet? I can't believe it. You've got some fun stuff on your channel, but you don't get anywhere if they don't let me see you, right? That's just the way it is. They don't like what I have to say, so they don't want anybody to see it. And that's what they do to people like me, Ruben and Orange Hat, any of us that speak up. They're going to hold you down as long as they possibly can. And the best thing that we can do is just keep getting back up and keep mouthing off. That's the best we can do. But I just want
Sure
to
as hell ain't gonna censor me.
say
You can
thank
threaten to demonetize my channel all you want. Guess what? I'm not monetizing.
me either. So, but the thing is, they do take
See
it
the
down.
promised land.
I couldn't post anything for 3 weeks. I couldn't do anything on my channel. Not one thing. And the scary fact is, if they just get sick of me and they want to get rid of it, then I'm not Janet from another planet anymore. I don't want to lose that. I've really worked hard on all my stuff.
You'll
on
always be Janet from another planet.
TikTok, I'm over 10,000 on there now. On Instagram, I have one of my videos is just under 2 million views, which is great. Okay. And I really want to be able to be successful on whatever it is I decide to do. And I'm trying to, but it's hard. If I followed the rules that they set out, I might already be there by now, but I'm not gonna do it. I just can't get myself to bend over for these people. I'm not going to. So that's not going to happen. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up. And I'm sorry, Papa Cotton, that you had lost your ranch. I don't know what happened or why that would happen. But I know you said something happened a couple of weeks ago. And you couldn't get on Bruce's channel or something. I don't remember what it was, but I'm glad that you're back. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. And in Six Nations, I'm thankful that you're here too, to help look out and try to, keep the nut jobs out to the best of our ability. But I just want to say thank you again. And I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.